Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alien vs. Predator Galaxy YouTube channel. I'm Aaron Percival, aka Corporal Hicks.
And I'm Adam Zeller, aka Ridgetop.
And we're back for another motion tracker video. Albeit a little late one, but last 2 weeks I've felt like shit. So we've been a bit behind on doing things.
Well, I hope you feel better.
I do now. I feel mildly human, which is a general step up from the way I normally
Better than
feel.
feeling inhuman, yeah.
But definitely a lot better than the last 2 weeks, I felt. So we're here for a little late discussion on news. And I feel like this one's going to be a short one because Adam don't want to talk about it.
Hey, you can't tell me that you're dreading this one a little bit too.
Okay, so
you're not dreading this one.
Well, no, but before we start being stereotypical angry fanboys, let's do the thing.
All right, here's the news first, and we give the commentary.
So we've got confirmation of Marvel's second arc beginning in Marvel's Alien. So issue 6 is the last of the first arc, which is known as Bloodlines or Bloodline. I can't remember which now. But with the September solicitations, we now have the first issue of the second story arc. So Adam wrote it, but again, he just is that ambivalent on these that I'm reading it for him for this one. So with the new September solicitations from Marvel, we have our first look at the covers for Aliens issue 7, which will begin the second story arc of Marvel's current ongoing Alien series. The creative team from the first arc, writer Philip Kennedy Johnson and artist Salvador Larroca, will be returning for the new arc. It's currently unknown if Guru EFX will be back for the colours. And check out the main cover and 2 of the variants below. So
that's a good cover.
I love this. I think this was brilliant.
I'm already the whole alien in the cornfield. Like, it's not a look we see very often, but it's very cool.
And even the yellow and not yellow, colorblind bugger. The orange tone of this I actually really like, and the imagery I really like as well. The jaws, chin might be a little bit too on the.
It's side, a big chin, yeah.
I do really like this. And
the orange vibe gives it a very Halloween kind of feel too.
I get Alien Vincent Ward echoes.
Oh yeah, yeah, because the long grass in the opening scene from that, right?
I don't think it was. It's not the opening scene. I think it was one of the bigger set pieces. But Jurassic Park. What's the second one called?
The Lost World.
The Lost World. They went and did a variation on that as well, which was cool. So that was the main standard cover artwork from Mark Aspinall. And we have 2 variants here.
It's stylized, but I dig it.
Yeah, it's okay. That's by, oh God, I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry.
Like Gerardo Sandoval?
Sandoval, yeah. And the next one is Giuseppe.
This one's going to be harder.
Camuncoli. Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Nice attempt.
I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
And pretty.
Aliens on a barn,
I guess. Yeah, Aliens on a barn. I'm not terribly keen on a lot of the variant artwork that we have seen from Marvel stuff, but the standard stuff seems to have been where the good things are. Was it Guru? EFX did most of. No, it was in Hyuk
Lee, yeah. Did most of the main cover, well, all of the main covers for 1 through 6.
For Bloodlines, yeah.
Yeah.
And they really good.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been a lot of variants too. So I expect maybe we'll see more than just 2 variants with this, or maybe the variants slow down as the series progresses. So some of the variants I've really, really liked. These 2 they're decent, but I think the main cover is where it's at.
Mm-hmm. And we just have some minor details on the plot, which is the search for sanctuary begins. A small colony of spinners looking to lead a simple life have nearly completed terraforming a moon. A ship crashes into their Eden from the heavens. A terror is unleashed. So very Vincent Ward's Alien 3, actually, in terms of, simple Vincent Ward's, it was monks trying to get rid of the technological thing, but then there's some thematic stuff with it being technology that was keeping them alive and they were burning it all away and blah, 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 blah. But this is quite reminiscent of that, even in terms of themes and concepts there, which I do like. I do like when new stuff tends to deep dive and go and explore the stuff that we didn't necessarily get realized elsewhere. I still hold hope for an adaptation of Vincent Ward's script anyway, in terms of a comic thing like Dark Horse were doing. I still hold hope for that, but I do like seeing the possibility of seeing elements of that show up in this new arc. Spinners, I could have sworn Spinners were from something, but no, they're not. It's something brand new for this series. And I did ask Philip about it on Facebook, and he said they were it was a small group who just followed this basic lifestyle kind of thing. So not much to go on plot wise there, but how does that tickle your fancy?
It's interesting. I was very curious when I saw the imagery that covers at first, like, oh, are we going to the past now? But no, the whole colonized moon makes it clear that we're still in a futuristic setting. But the farm definitely has an old-timey look about it. But I mean, you'd think people want to carry that on even into the future, even onto other worlds, I guess. So, but I just love this look right here. I was involved in kind of a Halloween movie project, and I showed the director this, and he was like, "Oh, that's so cool. That gives me some ideas." So, yeah, Alien in the Cornfields, man. I dig that. That's a great cover.
Okay, so even with we haven't done our podcast review or written review yet on the first run yet, because we're waiting for issue 3 to come out. Issue 3, idiot. Issue 6 to come out and finish.
Issue 5 first. And then 6 we'll finish it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
4. Okay.
We're up to 4. We wait for 5. We wait for 6 for the arc to be done, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah. But Adam's guested on a few episodes of another podcast talking about it, and knowing your distaste of the series so far, how does the news of the second arc make you feel?
I mean, I'm not happy about LaRocca being back. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that, really. But yeah, the YouTube channel I've been guesting on a bit to review the single issues, which typically I don't read single issues in comics. Typically I'll wait until the trade and read it all at once. But since this was a big new launch, I wanted to try that experience of reading it one issue at a time. But yeah, the YouTube channel is called Comic Binge, and definitely check out Paul's channel. He's up and coming, and he's really into Marvel comics and just comic everything, really. So check him out if you're into that. But I have not been enjoying the first Alien comic, and it seems to get worse with every issue. And I'm not alone in feeling this way. I mean, you go on our forums, Aaron, you've seen the community comments on the comic, and I've seen Mr. H's videos here on YouTube, and he's been railing on them too. So we're certainly not alone in feeling that it's been a pretty big letdown, unfortunately, the launch of the Marvel comics.
But then I was saying you like to see some of these proper reviewers. And don't get me wrong, I'm quite mixed on the series so far. I'm interested in where Philip's taking the story and some of the concepts that he's got going off. But goddamn, I hate LaRocca's artwork in this. It's just so lifeless and lazy looking, and I was really disappointed to see that they haven't changed up the art team yet, which I think is going to be to the series' detriment, because, well, no, it's a hard thing, because you say, the forums have been giving it some stick, and quite rightfully so, but then when you have all these proper ones praising the photorealistic artwork, and it's still selling really well, so it's like...
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. You have the hardcore fans and you have the mainstream comic book audience, and Marvel has a much bigger mainstream comic book audience than Dark Horse ever did. I just hope they can balance what the hardcore fans want to see with having something that's also accessible to mainstream audiences. But you don't always have to have that. Sometimes it's good to have a really niche, really weird comic too. I mean not if you're going to launch, but
it's not even about the accessibility of that. It's that fans seem to hate the art, whereas Joe proper reviewers seem to be just kissing Laroca's arse about all the photorealistic artwork, and I'm just sat here thinking this looks so lifeless and lazy. That's a toy. That's a toy. That's a toy.
And beyond that, Laroca has some issues in his past with things that have come up. I know in his Doctor Doom comic, there was a piece of fan art ripped from DeviantArt that still had the DeviantArt watermark on it on a map that was on the wall in Doctor Doom's fortress.
Wasn't that Star Wars?
It was a Star Wars map in Doctor Doom's fortress with all the Star Wars planet names and everything. But it's like, dude, that's someone's copyrighted art. Like, what's the legality here? So,
yeah, but then you get into the whole copyright and fan art and ownership
that's
thing
true
there,
too.
don't
Because
you?
I mean, Disney owns Star Wars too. But that is a messy business for sure. But ethically, I don't think there's much debate that it's not very good artistic practice.
But yeah, so. I think it's pretty clear where we stand on that one at the art.
You're not liking the art either, right?
No. Yeah. There are the odd panels and the odd page where I'm like, yeah, this looks good. Like I thought the splash, the big splash page of the Alpha at the end of 4 looked good. I liked that.
See, and I just thought, oh, this is the Hot Toys AVP Warrior alien, and I looked, and sure enough, it was. So with a crown put on it.
See, that one didn't immediately jump out to me as anything that's traced, but this I mean, it must be painful for you. You seem to have a hugely photographic memory for stuff like these.
No, it's what happens when you go to art school, man. You learn how to recognize shapes and patterns and stuff. And before I got into photography, I was into illustration, and I can pick that up, and it's just annoying because I want to see artists do new things. I want to see what an artist can do. But there's also the whole issue of deadlines in the industry and all that too. And we're going to get into this in depth, I'm sure, in our final review of the podcast. But, I didn't like seeing this in Alien, the original screenplay either. I think it's much more egregious here. Okay. But you don't like to see it at all.
Mm-hmm. You always miss it when I mock you. You did the art school thing and I was like, ooh.
Oh, sorry, I missed your mocking of me. I did though. I mean, come on.
No, it's unfair if you don't notice it while I'm doing it. Is more the point.
But it does. It does. Like that's what's so frustrating. Like they teach you these things in like basic art class. Like don't copy, don't trace, don't steal. Like and you're working for Marvel? Come on. Like there's so many artists out there that want to do Alien that could do Alien like killer. It's like, come on, Marvel. You're the biggest comic publisher out there. Come on. Alien deserves better than this.
Indeed. Anyway, before we go off too much, that's the news. We'll of course be doing a podcast on it probably September. Because it'll be out mid-August, the 6th issue.
And I think the paperback is scheduled for release in October.
Mm-hmm. But we'll go into it in more detail then. But issue 7, everybody, start of arc 2.
Well, one thing that's kind of a question that I think you brought up in the forum, Aaron, is that you think this will be a direct continuation of the first arc, where they'll probably escape the space station and crash land here, and then it'll be the same group of characters we're focusing on, with some new characters introduced as well, as the most likely scenario.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident that's what it's going to be. It's an ongoing series. It is an ongoing
sometimes
series.
With new arcs, they do switch things up a bit more, do they not?
No, not. I mean, that'd be like Spider-Man then changing to Superior Spider-Man. It would get a new. No, seriously.
Yeah, but superheroes are different than like an Alien comic book where you can focus on an entirely new group of characters.
This isn't Dark Horse doing a 4-issue separate story. This is an ongoing series, and it's going to follow the protagonists that have been set up.
Well, then I have to ask: Is this only going to be a main series with the occasional one shot like we're going to see with Aftermath, or are they going to start multiple series?
We've got to see, haven't we? I mean, we're only 4 issues in.
That's true.
I think this is a question for a year down the line. See how the line goes, and see how the one shots go. We'll talk about it later. We don't want to take up this one too much, but yeah, So everybody out there, what do you think of the new arcs announcement? How are you feeling about the series so far? Are you likely to continue past Bloodlines and pick up whatever the Spinners arc's going to end up being called? You have to let us know in the comment section below. All right. Well, this has been Corporal Hicks.
And Ridgetop.
Thank you for watching.